Return on investment. Garages are expensive enough, and you want to make sure you get the most return on investment for what you're putting into building your garage. On today's episode, we're going to talk about one of the number one things you can do with your design as well as with your finishes to get the most out of your money when building a garage, whether it's attached or detached. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Detached Garage. Today's episode is all about return on investment and more specifically finishes for your garage. We're talking about siding today. And we chose to go with the LP SmartSide siding for our garage. But the biggest thing you can do, according to realtors, when adding a garage to get the most return on investment for that money that you're spending is make it match the house. This is our existing house right here. We went and had vinyl siding. I'll put a picture up right now. And back to where we're at right now with the LP SmartSide. So one of the biggest things you can do is make your new garage match your house, whether it's attached or detached, using the same finishes, the same style, and getting that curb appeal for your garage is going to lead to over a 20% greater return on investment compared to if you mismatch the garage. So if you have LP SmartSide on your house and you go with a detached garage or even an attached garage and the siding doesn't match, it's not a smooth transition from one to the other, then your return on investment will not be as great. So let me go through and talk to you why we chose LP SmartSide versus some other siding options. Let's jump into that right now. All right, guys, so siding is still in progress, but I wanted to show you the LP SmartSide cavern steel on our house. And why we went with LP SmartSide is because it is an already painted finish. It's called their expert finish, and so it is painted already, both the white trim as well as the cavern steel siding. And you can see in here the caulk that goes between the siding and the actual trim. So this is kind of a cedar imprinted finish. Now, the two most common types of siding that are like this, where it's the imprinted finish, are Hardy Plank and LP SmartSide. Those are the two most common, and we'll talk about some details on why we went with the LP versus the Hardy Plank right now. So let's talk LP SmartSide. And what is it? It is an OSB material that has a finish on one side and a paint on one side. So it's your typical OSB that then gets that's glued together, and then they stamp this wood grain finish into it, and there are several standard colors you can get. You can also get this with just a primer coat on it, so you can paint it whatever you would like, but this is what LP SmartSide is. Hardy Plank is a similar product with a similar finish on it, but it is concrete. It's concrete board, so it has a lot more tendency to break, and that is one of the big reasons that we went with LP SmartSide. So welcome to my siding pile out back, and we've got kind of everything organized with trim, with the cavern steel, with the vented soffits here, and everything's kind of laid out across the backyard. But what I mentioned before in the breaking was a huge trade-off and ease of installation with LP SmartSide. So I have the end here, and you can see I am lifting it up, and it is just bending and not breaking. You could never do this with Hardy Plank. Hardy Plank is that concrete style board, so it's certainly strong, but it also needs to be supported over a long distance or it will snap. There's several demonstrations online about how brittle it is. You also need special nails to put the Hardy Plank in, where with this LP SmartSide, you can just use typical regular siding nails. We're using ring shank to give it a little bit better grip as it goes in. So ease of installation and lower labor costs is one of the big reasons why we use this. You also don't need a special blade to cut this. You can use your typical OSB circular saw blade. So ease of installation is one big reason we went with this over Hardy Plank. However, are certainly benefits to hardy plank and being concrete. Obviously, since this is OSB glued together, the fire resistance of this is certainly a lot less than concrete board. So the fire resistance is a big deal, and if you live in a wildfire prone area, or potentially even if you talk to your insurance company, you might even be able to get lower insurance rates if you use a more fire resistant product like hardy plank. Then you would want to go with that versus this for those reasons. So you can tell this is not planned by the weeds that are growing, but I wanted to show you just some tips that we use when doing the siding. So again, we talked about the caulk in between the trim and the SmartSide, and using the same color caulk as the SmartSide. The other thing is the screws that you use to put up the trim, you caulk over in white. This needs a little bit of touch up here, so does that over there. But then you also put a piece of aluminum flashing over the top of your trim so that the water makes sure to run off this way. We can get a piece of caulk, or we're going to fill this with some caulk as well, some white caulk once we get it out, but you can see the aluminum trim on that and the aluminum trim on this to make sure we don't have any water issues. LP has a ton of different options for trim out, for soffits, fascia, freeze board, everything like that that you need, you can get. And it does come in some standard colors. The nice thing about the standard colors is they're usually in stock when you order them. So if you have a project and you're not sure exactly how much you need, but you still want to get moving and get going forward, using a standard color could definitely save you some money on the long run, whether you're using hardy plank or LP SmartSide like we are. So you guys asked for a little bit more of a walk around. So again, transitioning the house and making sure you use similar finishes is really where you're going to get that 20% extra bump on your return on investment. So walking around here, we have about 3/4 of this garage completed on the siding. We still have to do a few things in back here. We stopped right at the roof line and where the pitch starts going up on the back of the house, because we do need to cut in 2 vents for the ERV, an exhaust and an intake. And so we'll cover that on a future episode. We've got the cedar ceiling going up here. We've got the cedar wraparound coming around here as well. And we still need to get this finished over here. But we are basically 3/4 of the way finished with the house. You can see the blue barrier up on here. And we finished that corner, we finished this window here, and we just need to wrap around and get the chimney as well. So it's all coming together, and we are getting this thing sided. I hope you enjoyed the quick overview of the siding on the garage. If you have any questions, please put that down in the comments below. Don't forget to go back and vote for what episode you want to see next. Right now, I believe multi-zone audio is in the lead, and we also have those other 2 topics of do-it-yourself garage lighting, as well as mounting and blocking of heavy appliances in the garage. So be sure to go vote on that. Thank you again so much for watching Detached Garage. We'll catch you in the next episode.